Hello, friends. Last night was our communal Yom HaShoah remembrance. David and Aurelia Lubinsky represented our community as lighters of one of the 6 memorial candles for the Shoah. It was music and poetry, and the moving 1-hour program was highlighted by 5 stories of resilience that were shared by members of all of the local synagogues. The honor of representing our community in this sacred storytelling fell to me. I was encouraged by Beth Chaim members who were there last night to share this story with those of you who couldn't be there. So here it is. With the support of my beloved wife Zoe, I am here to honor the memory of my late wife, Yael. Zichronah livracha, may her memory be a blessing. I met Yael's grandparents, Yitzchak and Slova Mazursky, in Tel Aviv in 1978. Yitzchak was 98, Slova was 96, and they had been married for 80 years. They were remarkable, resilient souls who had lived through unimaginable challenges in that netherland between Poland and Russia. They were merchants, and they made a good living. During the Second World War, when Nazi Germany broke the non-aggression pact with Russia, Slova and Yitzchak were trapped between the iron fist of Stalin advancing from the east and the brutal boot of Hitler marching from the west. To their great fortune, the Soviet army arrived just ahead of the Nazi onslaught. The people of Yitzchak and Slova's small village were told that they had 20 minutes to pack whatever they could carry before they were to be evacuated. Yitzchak wanted to take their valuables, jewelry, gold, and whatever might have the greatest trade value wherever they were to be taken. Slova began rounding up the sacred objects, like their smallest, most portable pair of Shabbat candlesticks. Suddenly, Slova looked into Yitzchak's eyes and said, "What are we thinking?" She directed Yitzchak and the children to put on as many layers of clothing, as many coats as they could manage. And she went into the dry pantry, bringing out bushels of potatoes. Quickly, she asked the children to begin filling every available pocket with potatoes. In addition, she grabbed some burlap bags and began filling them with potatoes. She and her husband and children took all of the sacks of potatoes they could carry. Before the family could begin to catch their collective breath, they were loaded onto troop trucks by soldiers who barely took notice of them. The trucks took them to train cars, and after long train trips they boarded wagons and had many subsequent days of long walks and short sleepless nights. This was how the family was transported from Eastern Europe all the way across the Ural Mountains and taken to the far eastern frozen region of Siberia. It was a miracle that they had not only managed to stay together, but ate boiled, mashed, fried when there were bits of oil available, and roasted potatoes to survive. When they were interned in a labor camp outside of Vladivostok, the other inmates there were hungry and subsisting on the most meager of diets. When the members of the camp saw these latest arrivals had sacks and seemingly endless pockets full of potatoes, they were jubilant. When they asked to share in this food, Slova asked them one simple question: was anyone starving at the moment? Well, Not exactly starving, came the chorus of voices, but certainly this great bounty was to be shared. Slova's refusal was unequivocal. The people were outraged, and it almost came to blows. Slova resolved the conflict with a demonstration of will and commitment. She grabbed a knife and a shovel, and she began working feverishly to show her children how to properly plant the potatoes. Grudgingly, the other camp members understood Slova's vision, and against their immediate needs and having to postpone their growling stomach gratification, many joined in with the planting. Only when Slova had decided that they had planted enough did she allow some of the remaining potatoes to be offered up as an appeasement sacrifice to their new neighbors. She made certain the potatoes that were planted in the ground were tended to. The next year, with chronic shortages facing the Russian army, the miserly rations provided to the people interned in the work camp were cut even further. The camp faced a serious and devastating famine. Slova and her family harvested her potatoes and were able to feed the entire camp, keeping them alive through the difficult winter. After the war, Slova and her family made their way all the way back to Poland, where their daughter Chaya met and later married Eliyahu Lieberman. Slova and Yitzchak accompanied Chaya and Eliyahu to Palestine on an illegal ship. They fought for Israel in the War of Independence in 1948, and Chaya and Eliyahu raised 3 proud daughters, one of whom was my late wife, Yael. Zecher, 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 Tzadikim livracha, livracha, May, their memories bless our days, bless our days. One last reminder, friends, that this Sunday, April 23rd, I serve the Interfaith of the San Ramon Valley, along with the town of Danville and the Unified School District, among dozens of faith community co-sponsors and civic partners, are holding the first annual Interfaith Earth Fest. This is a sweet celebration of our precious earth on the weekend of Earth Day. We'll be gathering at Peace Lutheran Church just down the street from Beth Chaim at 3201 Communitas Sahara from 1 to 4 p.m. for what promises to be a wonderful festival. There will be great music, engaging children's and family activities, 3 food trucks, labyrinth walks, and other fun movement activities. Almost every environmental organization in our valley will be represented by booths, tents, and tables. There will be presentations and opportunities to learn how we might become more involved in local efforts to be better stewards of our environment. This should be a wonderful afternoon, and I hope you'll be able to be there. It will be appropriate for the whole family. Beth Chaim is pleased to be a co-sponsor, and we can all be proud of our role as a faith community that cares about the environment here locally. Finally, a week from Sunday, April 30th, from 10 to 2 p.m. is Isra Fest, the 75th anniversary of the establishment of the State of Israel. We're honored that it is being held close by at Stone Valley Middle School. Our entire Beit Midrash is attending, and Beth Chaim will have a booth honoring the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces. I will share more about this next week. Until then, stay safe and be well. Shalom uvracha, peace and blessings.